Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning.
Has Nokia finally turned a corner?
I think it has, and it's the product of both the gross profit contributions, which must have been much better than Nokia anticipated, as well as the operating cost reductions, also well ahead of plan. So I think Nokia will be profitable hereafter every single quarter in 2013.
Yeah, I mean, the big focus is the Lumia phone, and we know that it sold far less smartphones in their entirety than the likes of Samsung and the likes of Apple. It's a massive gap that needs to be closed. Can it be closed, the gap between the amount of phones it's selling, smartphones that is, and the amount of Android and iPhones that are being sold?
I think the primary objective is to build a third ecosystem, Windows, based on Microsoft Windows, and I'm quite sure that it is capable of achieving a double-digit market share overall in smartphones, up to 15%. If you assume that Nokia garners 50–60% of that tally, then Nokia within Windows alone will be approximately 9% market share overall. On top of that, Nokia is doing very well now as far as the Asha series is concerned.
Yeah.
And Nokia indeed is now beginning to classify Asha as smartphones properly enough.
Yeah, I mean, Asha did do very well in the last period. When it comes to winning the hearts and minds, though, of mass-market consumers, is Nokia close to achieving that? Is it close to bringing out a model within this Lumia range that really captures the popular imagination of the wealthy American, the wealthy Chinese, or the wealthy European consumer?
We are not assuming that Nokia will close the whole gap to Samsung. If that were the case, then Nokia's share price would be in a completely different territory, I hasten to add. What we surmise will happen is that the third ecosystem will revolve around Microsoft Windows, and Nokia will be the champion there within. Then longer term, Nokia, like other players, is probably going to look very closely at a direct competitor to Android, which is based on a web browser, but that's further down the line. I also wish to stress then that Nokia, unlike Research and Motion and unlike high-tech computer, is much more than a smartphone maker. Nokia is the world #1 in feature phones, and that's a healthily profitable business. Nokia is now, presumably, at least temporarily, the world's most profitable mobile systems architect, thanks to the spectacular turnaround for Nokia Siemens Networks, and that may be monetized relatively soon. And Nokia, together with Google, is the star within the mobile maps business, something that Apple, not least, has discovered.
You've got a buy rating, and you've had a buy rating since June last year, and if investors had listened to your advice on June the 18th, they would have made a 69% profit. How high can Nokia shares go in the short to medium term?
I try to emphasize the fundamental value based on sustainable margins. On that premise, I believe Nokia's fair value, fair industrial value, I hasten to add, is in the vicinity of €5 per share, which is the target price at this moment in time. That is not to say that Nokia cannot go higher. The smartphone business in particular can have much higher margins than the ones we presume, the 7–8% in the longer run. It can have that during a brief period of its journey. And if that's the case, Nokia, like other smartphone makers, be it RIM or be it high-tech computer, can go much higher.
Thanks a lot. We'll chat to you soon. Lindberg there, analyst at ABG Sundal Collier Partners. Thanks for joining us today, Per.